Welcome to another Anti-Racism 101. Today I'm going to debunk the myth that African American vernacular English, or Black English, implies that the speaker is unintelligent or uneducated. People who speak standard English often have this gross misconception when they hear a Black person or a brown person conversing in a dialect that is not standard English. They will incorrectly compare it to a much younger child who misuses grammar, is just learning to speak standard English. Many standard English speakers believe the use of AAVE dialect indicates a lack of intelligence or indicates this lower socioeconomic status. But extensive social science research does not support this negative and actually cruel, marginalizing stereotype. It's just not true. AAVE is not just some slang ghetto talk or a grammatically flawed version of someone trying to speak standard English. It's not. It's a real dialect. In 1973, someone with good intentions took the word ebony and phonics and put it together to coin the term ebonics, which generally today is considered a racial slur. It's way past time that we set the record straight and debunk this harmful mistaken belief. AAVE is a full-fledged dialect of English, just like British English. It's entirely rule-bound, meaning it has very clear grammatical rules, which have been studied extensively and described in great detail by linguists. So where did this linguistic dialect come from originally? In academia, there are two competing hypotheses about its origins. But one thing linguistics do agree on 100% is that AAVE was born out of the historically ugly, barbaric history of slavery in the United States South. You see, much of our history, our racial history in America, has been whitewashed on purpose. And so some of the history that is pertinent in understanding how things originated are gone. They are kept secret, or they vanished. Many recognize the following as an explanation of how Black English, or this dialect that we're speaking of, came to be. The ancestors of many Black African Americans today didn't come here voluntarily. Instead, they were kidnapped and ripped from their homes and forced into a non-human status to serve as enslaved people. And these folks had their own culture, their own language, their own societies. And what we did was we took them and systematically segregated them into chattel slavery. And we made sure that people who spoke the same language weren't together because, of course, we knew knowledge is power and communication is a huge empowering tool. So their language was lost. So why am I focusing on this dialect? Well, AAVE is a dialect of English like any other, except it suffers from extreme stigma due to our history of systemic racism and white supremacy in the United States. It has systematic, coherent, and rule-bound grammar. It has actually some cool features that allow people who speak this to communicate complex ideas using fewer words than standard English would allow. If you understand and relate to this information that I'm telling you in this video, please go out and teach other white folks. Knowing our true racial history helps us better understand what we're dealing with today in modern society. Noam Chomsky is a world-renowned linguist who has some words to say on this subject.
But what does it mean for the language to be pure? Or when people say they want English to be pure, what are they talking about? Was Shakespeare pure? I mean, in fact, every stage of history, languages are, first of all, there is no such thing as a language. There are just lots of different ways of speaking that different people have, which are more or less similar to one another. Some of them may have prestige associated with them. In fact, language, the way we use it, is some very complicated socio-political notion which has not much to do with things that are in people's heads.
And sometimes it may be useful to follow some rule that somebody made up for some arbitrary reason that's followed in the formal, in the literary canon. Okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's basically a question. It's the same kind of question. It's a question of whether to accept usually artificial norms that have been designed for whatever purpose. They have no status other than the status that people agree to give to them.
As any scientist ought to understand, or anyone who uses their sense, if the people in East Oakland happen to have all the money and power, ebonics would be good English, and what they talk at Princeton and Yale would be some weird kind of dialect or something like that. I mean, whatever these things are, they're not psychological or biological or linguistic notions.
There's nothing right or wrong about driving on the right. Okay, it's just, there's a law that says drive on the right, and life is better in that case if everybody follows the law, so you follow it. In other cases, like norms of grammar, it's almost totally arbitrary. It's like whether you should wear a tie. You can decide to do it because it's easier to get by in the world or whatever, but there's nothing of any significance about it.
For example, some of them may be the speech of a conquering group or a wealthy group or a priestly caste or one thing or another, and we may decide, okay, those are the good ones and some other ones the bad one. But if social and political relations reversed, we'd make the opposite conclusions. Let's say take Black English today. Black English is considered not quite proper English. On the other hand, if blacks happen to have all the power and own all the corporations and whites were working for them, it would be the other way around.
Okay,
Black English would be the language of culture and science and so on, and the stuff that you and I speak would be considered a degenerate dialect, which you have to get people out of so that they'll be able to think.
Thank you for watching another Anti-Racism 101. You've just come one step closer to being able to debunk harmful myths. So go out there and teach other folks the truth. And please don't forget, leave comments below. Tell me what you think. I want to know what you think of this video. Check out my other videos. I want to know what you think of them too. If you like this video and you want to see others like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angry Soccer Mom. And I hope to see you in the next Anti-Racism 101, where we'll be talking about code switching. See you next time. Thanks for watching.